Welcome back to another Tuesday Trivia. I am going to be reading synopses from the Videohound's Golden Movie Retriever, omitting some identifying names or places, and you are going to try to guess the movie. If you don't guess it from the synopsis, I also have some other clues. So let's get right to it. Welcome back, physical media and trivia fans. It is Tuesday once again, so it's time for some trivia. I have 10 movies for you this week, and I really mixed up the very easy and very hard. I think there are some middle difficulty questions, but I do have some hard ones, and I have some very easy ones. So if you are new to this or you don't remember how this works, I read the synopsis from the Videohound's Golden Movie Retriever, 2021. That was the last year it was published. I omit some words or names or places that might be too identifying and make it too easy for you to guess the movie. If you don't get it from the synopsis, I then give you the year, and then I give you the cast, the top three casts in reverse order of billing, and then I give you the director, and then I give you the answer. This week, I'm also doing fun facts once again. I only missed that 1 week, but apparently my kid really liked the fun facts, so she wanted me to put them back in. My kid also has the Star Wars blanket and has claimed it from Flo the dog here. So she gets a plain coral color blanket. Anyway, let's get to trivia, starting with movie 1 and synopsis 1. Former hitmen team up to bring down the mob boss who double-crossed them and sent one to prison and the other to the streets. One of them also has to protect his younger brother, a cop, from the gang. Considered one of the best of this director's Hong Kong efforts, there's plenty of his hallmark balletic action and an interesting story. So this is probably a middle one. This is a cult fave. With a very well-known and well-respected director, which you will hear in a minute. So this might be a middle difficulty one, moderate difficulty. The year is 1986. The cast is Leslie Cheung, Tai Lung, and Chow Yun-fat. The director is John Woo, of course. John Woo, with balletic action. And an interesting story. He's done some movies with both of those things. His American efforts weren't as good for me, in my opinion. But he made some amazing Hong Kong action films before he tried to break into the American film industry. That movie is A Better Tomorrow. A Better Tomorrow. Chow Yun-fat in a breakout role. It wasn't his debut. And I know that because the fun fact I have for you is that John Woo has said in interviews that he cast Chow Yun-fat specifically because he didn't look like the typical action star. Before this film, Chow Yun-fat was not thought to have the star power to drive people to see films. That definitely changed in the 90s, because Chow Yun-fat was a pretty big name in action films. And he's awesome to watch. He's great, and he was great in that movie, A Better Tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to mention, the theme this week is VHSs that I have in my eBay store. So all of these are for sale in my eBay store right now at time of publishing. May 6th, 5th? I don't know what date it is, but I have the link to my eBay store in the description. I will be bringing these to the Randolph Street Market May 23rd and 24th to try to sell to people in person. If you're in town and you want to come say hi, I would love to see you. Let me know you saw me on YouTube. I'll give you a little something to take away with you. So the theme, VHSs that I have in my eBay store, and I included a couple of made-for-TV movies / miniseries. So that's another little clue. Movie 2. Let's get to movie 2 synopsis. That was a long break in between. The TV series' fifth season cliffhanger continues in the big screen adaptation, which supposedly has a plot clear enough so viewers unfamiliar with the series can still figure out what's going on. The creator uses the show's mythology episodes to have FBI agents battling a global conspiracy involving the blank and an international syndicate, colonizing aliens, and related paranormal perplexities. The big budget allows for some big action sequences and special effects, and the two leads have a comfortable partnership. So maybe you know this one from the description. The FBI part probably is a big clue. If you weren't sure, go with your gut. The year is 1998. I'm sure the cast will give it away if you don't have it yet. Cast: Martin Landau, Gillian Anderson, and David Duchovny. The director is Rob Bowman. And that movie is The X-Files, which also has an alternate title of X-Files Fight the Future. But it is officially just called The X-Files, and often colloquially known as The X-Files movie. The fun fact I have for you is that scenes featuring swarms of bees were achieved through a mix of live bees and CGI bees. The production used a healthy mix of CGI and practical effects, including constructing a 22-foot model of the exploding building that they modeled after a 170-some foot building. So I'm not going to do the math to figure out what the scale is on that. But I love practical effects. I understand that CGI, computer-generated images, are used to enhance practical effects or in place of practical effects, which is a little disappointing. But I fully understand the need for CGI, but I do prefer and love practical effects. Movie 3. Convoluted psycho thriller from a child's point of view. Young Lucas is fearful for his blind mother. It seems a vicious slasher has been attacking blind women, and Lucas's father, a policeman, has yet to apprehend the criminal. But Lucas, it seems, has a problem with reality. With his fantasies and realities mixed, all the people in his life also play entirely different roles. Characters are so detached and unreal that a viewer is prevented from a clear understanding of anything that may or may not be going on. That is a very wordy synopsis. This is one of the hard ones, I think. It has a very positive review from Bloody Disgusting, a trusted horror review site. But I don't think it's very well known. I'll give you another clue. It's British. Maybe that'll help. The year is 1992. The cast is Ben Keyworth, Fanny Ardant, and James Fox. And the director is Mark Peplow. The fun fact I have for you is that this is Mark Peplow's feature directorial debut after writing scripts for years, including co-writing the critically acclaimed The Last Emperor, directed by Bernardo Bertolucci. Movie 4. Ghoulish made-for-TV adaptation of the blank novel about a superflu/plague that decimates the U.S. population. The few survivors are soon divided into two camps. Those dreaming of a godly old black woman known as Mother Abigail, and others of the satanic Randall Flagg, the walking dude. Boulder, Colorado serves as headquarters for Abigail's brood, while Las Vegas, where else, is Flagg territory. It all comes down to a battle of good versus evil, with the future of mankind at stake. Religious allegory can get tedious, but it's a varied cast with some scenes not for those with queasy stomachs. So remember, this is a TV and an adaptation from a novel. The year is 1994. The cast is Jamie Sheridan, Molly Ringwald, and Gary Sinise. The director and frequent collaborator with this writer, Mick Garris. Mick Garris. Did you get that one? It is The Stand. That movie is The Stand. Fun fact I have for you for The Stand is that Stephen King and Mick Garris have collaborated on several projects. Sleepwalkers, which was right before this came out, and The Shining TV adaptation, to name a couple. King wrote the adaptation for this film and sent Garris a 460-page script for the miniseries, which blows my mind. That is a very long script, and I know he's adapting his own work, but still, that's a lot of work. That's a tome showing up on Mick Garris's doorstep from the delivery company. Movie 5. Teenager Alex predicts that a plane filled with classmates will explode. It does, but he and some others manage to make it off the plane beforehand. Things get interesting and a little philosophical when the survivors start dying. Seems death feels cheated and is getting even. Typical body count slasher genre gets a twist from the machinations of fate or whatever. Filmmakers paid tribute to some of their favorite horror stars and directors with the characters' surnames. So this one might be one of the easier ones, or at least I think it is very easy. I put this on the, way on the easy end of the spectrum. For me, personally, if you don't get it, that's okay. You don't have to know every horror film. The year is 2000. The cast is Kristen Cloak, Ali Larder, and Devon Sawa. So maybe that gave you enough if you didn't get it from the synopsis. Devon Sawa especially. The director is James Wong. James Wong, who went on to direct The One with Jet Li. That movie is Final Destination. So the original Final Destination, we've had several sequels and reboots and a prequel. But the fun fact I have for you is that director James Wong had written and directed several episodes of TV's X-Files. And this film started as an idea for that show, but it was rejected by Fox. So he went on and developed it into a feature film with a writing partner and directed it himself. And it did well, and it's pretty good. Movie number 6. Cheesy fun in the Saturday matinee tradition. This horror tale is a loose remake of the 1932 Boris Karloff Starer. In the 1920s, American adventurer Rick O'Connell is hired by British librarian Evelyn and her Egyptologist brother Jonathan to escort them to the ancient Egyptian city of the dead. Unfortunately, their meddling results in the release of cursed, mummified priest Imhotep, who manages to regenerate into living flesh and who wants to use Evelyn to resurrect his dead girlfriend. Lots of zombies, mummies, skeletons, and flesh-eating beetles, as well as spooky tombs. I think this is probably one of the easier ones, at least to get the general title and what the topic is. I think this is a very easy one, but maybe not the specific one that I'm talking about. The year is 1999. Maybe that helps. The cast is Arnold Vosloo, Rachel Weisz, and Brendan Fraser. That should give it away, Brendan Fraser, right? The director is Stephen Sommers. Did you get this one? It is The Mummy. 1999's The Mummy with our beloved Brendan Fraser. The fun fact that I have for you for this one is one of the shooting locations had an abundance of snakes and scorpions that the cast and crew needed to avoid. In one interview, Fraser said that at one point, production sent out a memo to avoid a particular yellow-spotted snake because, in quoting Brendan Fraser, at best, they will amputate a limb if you get bitten. So That's pretty creepy. I don't know what the yellow spotted snake is. It didn't say in that interview that I saw. Movie number 7. Over-the-top remake of the 1954 cult classic has nuclear testing in France creating a giant mutant lizard to destroy all boats, piers, people, and buildings that happen to get in its way. Gone are the days of a man in a rubber suit menacing Tokyo, replaced by state-of-the-art special effects. Third-rate storyline has wimpy biologist Nico Tatopoulos hired to track down and connect with the beast, only to realize that it has chosen the Big Apple as the birthing place for its huge brood. When various supporting characters cross paths with the creature, what results looks amazingly similar to one hugely successful dinosaur movie and its sequel. Ending leaves door wide open for an inevitable sequel of its own. I am not 100% sure what dinosaur movie they're talking about there. I'm guessing Jurassic Park and a sequel that came before 1998, which is the year. 1998 is the year of this one. And the cast is Maria Patillo, or Patillo maybe, Jean Reno, the professional, and Matthew Broderick. The director is Roland Emmerich, and it had a very popular song attached to it at the time from Sean Combs. I don't know if he was P. Diddy at the time. So yikes on that one. The movie is Godzilla. Godzilla. It was not good. And I remember their tagline on the posters and stuff was "Size Does Matter." And that ties into my fun fact, which is the special effects crew created a 1:6 scale waist-up animatronic of Godzilla. It was huge. It was bigger than the T-Rex animatronic from Jurassic Park. That's kind of cool. Again, practical effects. I love practical effects. I like to throw them into my fun facts because that side of filmmaking really fascinates me. Movie 8. LA lawyer falls in love with a woman he saves from an attacker, then discovers she's a fugitive from a satanic cult that wants her back. Unoriginal, but slickly made. So this is one of the very hard ones, I think. I don't think this one got a lot of traction, and there's a reason why a lot of people don't know about it, and I'll tell you that in the fun fact. But the year is 1988. So an 80s movie, 1988. And the cast is Rick Rossovich, Kelly Preston, and Timothy Daly. The director is Janet Greek. And that movie is Spellbinder. Spellbinder. The reason that this movie, or maybe one of the reasons, I don't think it's very good, but one of the reasons that very few people know about this movie, or very few people have seen this movie, is because it's somewhat hard to find. As far as I know, I think it's only streaming for purchase on Amazon. And the reason it's hard to find is because the cult of Scientology reportedly tried to bury the film due to its cult member / star Kelly Preston and her nude scenes and the witchcraft themes, which they were opposed to, apparently. So, Scientology. There you go. You probably figured out my thoughts on Scientology with the way that I wrote Cult of Scientology instead of Church of Scientology and Scientology. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. Next movie, movie 9. Classic Western saga with blank and blank, two aging ex-Texas Rangers who decide to leave their quiet lives for a last adventure, a cattle drive from Texas to Montana. Along the way, they encounter a new love, a lost love, and a savage renegade Indian. Based on Pulitzer Prize winner Larry McMurtry's novel, this handsome TV miniseries is a finely detailed evocation of the Old West, with a wonderful cast and an equally fine production. So this one's a Western. I think that's pretty obvious, right? And it is a made-for-TV miniseries. The year is 1989. And the cast is Angelica Houston, Tommy Lee Jones, and Robert Duvall. If you're into Westerns, I think this will be an easy one. If you're into Western novels, I left the author's name in there, so you probably picked it up from there. But the director is Simon Wincer. Simon Wincer. That made-for-TV movie is Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove, which was critically acclaimed. And the fun fact that I have for you about Lonesome Dove is that the writer-producer Suzanne DePass bought the rights to the story after reading the novel. She shopped it around and was rejected by all the major studios. Once the novel won the Pulitzer Prize and became a huge success, the studios came crawling back. So she said they all called her up as soon as the novel took off because she had the rights. She must have seen, had a good inkling that this movie would do well as a film, so bought the rights, and then she held all the cards by the end. The last one, this one is from a cult favorite director, but it's one of his lesser known titles. So this might be a tough one to end on, but I'll give you all the clues, and I'll tell you the title and give you a fun fact. So movie 10. The thriller develops around a murder and the child who witnesses it. The killer attempts to kidnap the young boy, but problems arise when he falls in love with the lad's mother. So, a killer falling in love with the lad's mother and trying to kill a kid? Or kidnap him at least. This movie is from 1984. 1984. The cast is John Worley, Brad Rinn, and Anne Carlisle. And that director, that cult favorite director that I mentioned, Larry Cohen. Larry Cohen. So after Larry Cohen directed Cue the Winged Serpent in New York, he filmed this. This is my fun fact. He filmed this movie. I shouldn't jump into the fun fact yet, but he filmed this movie at the same time or back to back as another film in the same year. They were released in the same year. This movie is Perfect Strangers. So my fun fact is that it's often referred to by its working title, Blind Alley. He shot this back to back with the movie Special Effects right after Cue the Winged Serpent. He is well known for his get it done, low budget filmmaking, and apparently works quickly because he filmed these back to back and they're both released in 1984. Special Effects and Perfect Strangers. So that is it. That's it for our trivia for this week. I will be back with some more trivia next week. If you appreciated this, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. If you don't want to do those things, that's fine too. I appreciate you watching this far. But either way, you're going to see me the next time I post. Thanks.